Hey guys, Ningen here, bringing you another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan battle video, and today we are having a look at an older unit that I'm sure some of you will have seen pop up a fair few times in the last few days if you've been going in on the AGL Zamasu banner, and that is of course the TEQ merge Zamasu. So here's a very old unit. He came out on Global on the 25th of May 2017, so he is over 2 years old at this point. Obviously, with what we know from the units that have been getting them recently, it's fairly likely that he'll get an easy A at some point in the future, but it's probably going to be quite a way away because they still haven't finished the 70% leaders yet. And obviously they're awakening the 100% demigod leaders alongside those. Once those are all done, we assume that they're going to move on to AGL Rose and Physical Vegito Blue, and then it would follow that after that they will do the Int Rage Trunks and the TEQ Merge Zamasu. So it's very possible that he'll get an easy A in the future, but even from the JP side of things we could be looking at least 6 months from now, because JP still needs to get AGL Super Vegito and Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta before they can potentially move on to Vegito Blue and AGL Rose, who I do think will probably get them before Int Rage Trunks and this Merge Zamasu. So let's talk about what he does. Obviously his leader skill super outdated at this point. You're not really going to use it for much. Extreme classes, key +1, HP attack and defense 70%, so very outdated, but he does do immense damage with his super attack and greatly lower defense, which is reasonable. It's what you'd expect from a Dokkan Fest unit at this point. He has a 12 key multiplier of 140%, which is fairly reasonable, and his passive skill is attack 120%, and he gives super class allies minus 10% attack. So 2.3 million attack stat, that's actually not too bad with a support unit on the rotation. Obviously the damage isn't quite what you'd expect, but that's because the Super Buu event has very high damage mitigation. So one of the things that kind of made this unit drop off a little bit, and you don't really see on teams anymore, is the fact that his passive, he has no defense built into his passive, and at Rainbow he only has 9,083 defense, so not super high. And obviously on this Realm of Gods team using the Zamasu leader skills, you only get 130% to defense, whereas he's giving 170 to HP and attack. So obviously in the current meta that the game is in, with things like Super Battle Road, things like the legendary Goku event, everything is kind of focused around defense and being able to not only build your defense, but if you can't stack your defense, just having good defense, because you don't want to be that one unit on the rotation in Super Battle Road that is taking like 50-60k even with an item active. So that is one thing that definitely lets him down, the fact that he is low on defense. But we're going to try him out here. The Super Buu event is obviously not the hardest event in the game by any means. It's been out for quite some time now, but he can hit reasonably hard in some of these phases. So it'll be interesting to see defensive wise how this Zamasu can hold up, because I think attack wise he's going to be perfectly fine. Of course, one thing that does make him quite a good pick for this team, if you are someone who has pulled the AGL Zamasu and you want to get the most out of him, they have exactly the same links. So Nightmare, Godly Power, Fear and Faith, Fused Fire, Big Bad Bosses, Dismal Future and Fierce Battle, TEQ Zamasu and the AGL. Now that he's transformed into the Merge Zamasu form that we have here, they have the exact same links. So every single one of those links is active, so you get the maximum potential out of both of those units. So let's see here, we've got the West Kai on rotation, the 40% support unit. So this is the best rotation that we can get for him, essentially. The only way this could be better is, I guess technically you can run Kid Buu on this team because of Zamasu's leader skill for that 50%, but on a pure Realm of Gods team, this will be the best rotation for the TEQ Zamasu. So yeah, 2.3 on his attack stat. So that's definitely reasonable. The fact that he's as old as he is and he's breaking a 2 million attack stat very decent. And then he even took double-digit damage as well. So obviously he is getting that 40% support buff, but that's very respectable. Obviously, Dokkan events, not the hardest thing in the game. You know, I wouldn't be expecting him to take sort of 50k damage out here, but I am a little bit surprised that he's tanking that well. But then I suppose there's not going to be, well, as the leader skills get higher and higher, you're going to find less and less units that are taking big damage in normal Dokkan events. And obviously the way I like to build my teams, especially if I'm keeping the leader of the team on main rotation like we are here, I will bring a link partner for them and then 3 support units. So every single unit floating in the 3rd spot is a support unit. So we pretty much never have a rotation where he's not getting some sort of extra buff to both his attack and defense. So I want to see him take a super attack, but so AGL Zamasu only at 2.2. Obviously it's not a fair comparison because was that mine or the friend? That's mine. Mine has 1 dupe, whereas obviously the TEQ mode Zamasu is rainbow for me. I think I've pulled, was it 2 extra copies from the Zamasu banner? So obviously with the potential for him to get an easy A in the future, I have kept those so I can use them as essentially free Kais once he awakens. But let's see what he's going to do here, because obviously this attack in the first slot is just to heal. So we've got 2 attacks here lined up with type advantage over us. So let's see how much damage he takes here. Topo on the rotation gives 35% support to attack and defense, so just shy of the buff that we get from West Kai. So let's see what we can get here. Yeah, see 2.2, just slightly below the rotation with West Kai. Obviously damage wise, even with a crit, not that great. So wow, yeah, okay, so still double digits from a normal attack with type disadvantage. So yeah, that's very reasonable. Definitely holds up in Dokkan events, which is probably the only place you're going to use him now. Obviously, if you want to run the Realm of Gods team on like the legendary Goku event, for example, you're definitely not going to be bringing TEQ Zamasu, because he can't dodge in the final phase and he's got type disadvantage against like the hardest hitting enemy in the game. So definitely not going to be using him on there. You could probably make an argument for using him on the Realm of Gods Super Battle Road. That stage is fairly difficult compared to some of the other ones though, so I'm not too sure if he would be the ideal pick. Because again, it's a mode where you don't really want to load up your team with support units, because then they can end up having to take lots of hits and therefore take tons of damage. So we can see here that with support units, he's perfectly able to keep up with any of the units on the team. Obviously he is rainbow, so comparing him directly to how the AGL Zamasu is performing isn't really appropriate, but he definitely is holding his own. So let's put him in this first slot here. So obviously this is the final phase of the fight, so this is where Boo will be at his maximum damage output. There's no way we're going to survive around another turn to seeing him in action again. So let's transform our Zamasu, since he will probably get the finishing blow here. So we'll let him transform. Just an excuse to see the animations again, really, and have corrupted merged Zamasus together here. So all of those links active, and then give that to you. And we've got Goku Black on the rotation, who, whilst he doesn't give as big a defensive buff, he does give 40% attack to units that are in both future and time travelers, which this Zamasu is. He is of course in Realm of Gods and in Potara as well, so very decent. He's put up a pretty good performance. Obviously now Super Boo's lost most of his damage reduction, so that kind of damage output is not great. His attack stat slightly under 2 mil now, and yes, the AGL Zamasu obviously gets that huge boost once he transforms, so I would imagine this is probably going to be the final blow. Oh no, quite a bit left. I figured with the type advantage we would probably get a huge final blow there. Obviously, one of the things that can help out this unit a lot, and it does help out a lot of extreme units when they're on the slightly lower end of the scale, is the fact that big bad bosses, one of the best links in the game, obviously once it's actually activated, you get that huge boost of 25% attack and defense, which is definitely nothing to sneer at. That is a huge boost for some of these units, and it will help out the TEQ mode Zamasu massively. Now obviously AGL Zamasu does heal at the start of the turn, so it's a little bit counterintuitive. It can be difficult to keep big bad bosses active, but that is a nice little bonus that you can get to max out that unit's potential. So obviously this is going to be the final turn. There's no way this AGL Zamasu isn't going to finish him off, so that is going to be the wrap up for the video. So let me know down below in the comments, what did you think of the TEQ mode Zamasu? I'm assuming there's quite a few people out there in the same boat as me, where you have not only rainbowed him but probably pulled an extra copy or two from the Zamasu banner. So I have seen a few people in the comments when I did my other Realm of Gods video saying that they were running the TEQ mode Zamasu so they could use him alongside the AGL. Because like I said, whilst he can still hold up as a decent unit himself, one big advantage for him is that he does have all of the links with the AGL Zamasu once he transforms into the fused state. So I think he's pretty decent. Like, obviously in the harder events maybe not so much, but in the just for fun sort of runs, I definitely will be bringing him on this team and linking him up with the AGL Zamasu. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. So that is going to be it for the video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new. You can follow me on Twitch or join my Discord, the link is in the description below, and I will see you all again soon. Have a good one.